Right then, so this is Scapegoat number 5. These are going actually pretty rather well. Oh, 5. So we've got Ewan here, Shredbra, Ifrian drummer. We've got Dave, the drummer of pretty much every band in Edinburgh, Endless Swarm, Ambrose, Devil's Beefed Up, Black Talon, the list goes on and fucking on. And then you got Stu at the far end again, Sonesthesia. Hopefully he won't derail this conversation as bad as last time, but we'll see how we go. Hey, so yeah, what's been happening? What gigs have been good? Any bands that have, like, ticked the boxes, anything like that?
Well,
I gig last night.
I just got back from downloading. There was a lot of bands there.
Yeah,
but,
highlights, lowlights?
I mean, I'm a big Sky guy, so Real Big Fish were maybe the highlight for me.
Pure Massive Bash?
Yeah, I mean, Diablo played as well, which was like a big, like, what the fuck, but they were incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, just the usual kind of bands I go and see, Municipal Waste, Carcass, Trivium at the Gates, you know, just a lot of good shit.
Was it as manky as some of the photos were looking?
No, it wasn't. The first day, it was pretty heavy rain and there was a lot of mud, and it was, you know, I just arrived from a 6-hour coach journey, so I wasn't in the best mood.
Yeah.
And the rain didn't help. But you know, I went to sleep, I had a nap, woke up on Thursday. Mud was still there, but the rain had stopped, and I thought, right, let's just enjoy it. Let's just have a good time. Let's just drink lots. Let's do a lot of illegal substances, and then
social activities.
The mud will stop being a problem. And it didn't. You know, that's exactly what happened. So yeah, people who like left after 2 days before the bands even started playing. I envy you if you can afford that to waste that much money.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like the last Donington that I went to was 2006. So I did 2003, 2004, missed 5 and did 6, and every year I went there was a riot.
Is that the Guns N' Roses one?
Yeah, 2006 was the
I was there.
That was a fucking nightmare. It was so bad that they locked us into the campsite because they were like, if we let you out, they're just going to fucking burn it.
An actual like physical riot.
Like, so you know how you have burger vans and pizza things in the campsite? All of them were on fire. If it was like the tent and nobody in it, the tent was on fire. Like, it was fucking nuts, man. It was like
I nearly got my hand bitten off by an attack dog. I was in a shit house and I went over to try and pet this dog.
Folk started running out onto, like, you know how there's an airstrip that's next to it?
Yeah.
Folk started running out onto the airstrip while planes were fucking landing, and so they literally had to corral us all in. So all the way around, I think it was the yellow campsite, like every exit had like fucking Dobermans and stuff like that. So you had to be there until daylight, and then you all got funneled out in a single fucking line. It was like the weirdest concentration camp I've ever fucking
Concentration camp with riffs.
which I had to pay for. So yeah, it was a really weird. So pretty much since then I've kind of given up.
I've got two really polarized. I've been to Donington twice. 2006 was the last time, and the first time was 1996. So I have like
Really showing off my age here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But like 96, it was Kiss, Sepultura, Maxi.
Original Sepultura.
Yeah. Who else? Like Honey Grab with Dog Eat Dog. Remember Dog Eat Dog?
Yes,
they were one of the headliners.
Was that the first one? Was it still Ozfest or whatever it was called?
No, it was at Donington. It was
Monsters Rock.
Yeah, it wasn't called Monsters Rock. It was just called Donington now.
Oh, really?
Ozzy Osbourne as well. Type of Negative.
Oh,
it was brutal, man. Like I was 12 years old.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, that was 12 years old. Very lucky.
But in that case, then, would you say that Donington is now like the king of festivals? Because in my opinion, and I don't think it is.
Monsters of Rock was kind of the first of its kind, right?
Yeah.
Surely. And obviously that's like Donington as an area is like the OG, but what downloads becomes just kind of like another, you know, it's just more like Reading and Leeds now.
I agree.
I mean, I had a great time and some of the bands were fantastic, but in general, I would much rather go to a lot of other festivals.
Bloodstock.
I'm still going to Bloodstock this year.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, Bloodstock has kind of got more of that European feel to it.
It's just a bit smaller as well.
Yeah.
So
It's the perfect size. Perfect
So
size.
the crazy thing is, when I went to Brutal Assault, like if you take the scale of Donington, where you can have like 300,000 people there, Brutal Assault only had 100,000 people. So even though you were in this grand ass place, you could still walk from A to B without being like fuck. And it was also $80.
nice.
I don't know how
It's
much.
$1.50 a pint as well.
Not even. Like, so you buy your pint and you get a glass. The plastic glass you keep, and then it halves the price of your pint. So it's 75p a pint. How much
That's
did your
just a
ticket
good
cost?
idea.
Well, I got an early bird, which was an early bird download is a same price as a full price bloodstock. So it was about 180 for the early birds. My friends who bought the ticket later paid over £200.
Yeah. So to put that in the
And a
context,
pint was like £5. So
you can go to Prague, get your flight to Prague, your like hospitality probably for a week, easy peasy, and to go to Brutal Assault and see probably the same bands.
well, I have friends.
Same price of the ticket.
I have friends who are going to Brutal Assault this year, and they keep rubbing it in that they're going to Brutal Assault this year. But it's clashing with Bloodstock, and I've already committed to going to Bloodstock.
Has anyone got any festivals they haven't been to that they want to go to?
Bloodstock, Metal Days.
For Backing, the one for me. Like,
Nah, man, I don't think I would enjoy backing.
What?
I think backing and Hellfest I wouldn't actually enjoy.
For me, the most appealing thing about Backing isn't like the continuity of like the caliber bands again. It's just what you get for your ticket. Like again, you're talking about 80 quid.
It's really that cheap.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 80 quid for the weekend. You get a fucking goodie bag with your ticket. Like you get free CDs and T-shirts and shit. You get a free pass to the local swimming pool. It's crazy. It's like absolutely.
I just don't see backing tickets.
Yeah, no, because it can only hold like 80,000 people.
Yeah.
Well, I think
But they're
backing's
constantly
got a whiff.
extending it, I've heard, and that's
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I'd love to do Backing.
Well, I think it's got a whiff of what you were saying, that Backing was one of them OG festivals that, like, back in the day, it had all the massive names that, don't get me wrong, weren't really coming over to Europe, and they were all in one place at one time. It's like, this is like our Mecca sort of thing. But I don't think it's got the, like, the feel as it used to.
I think that now it's more focused on the kind of the real kind of outside perimeter of metal. It's like the bands that you will never see play download. The bands are just too fucking heavy to play. For me, Backing is for like you say your death metal, your black metal. It's the festival really. I think you're going to see the most amount of those bands in one place.
There's bands like Halloween and stuff who just never bother leaving mainland Europe as well. Who like you guarantee you'll see them like Hammerfall and Demons and Wizards and stuff.
Nice.
They can't be bothered traveling overseas, so like Vakin and festivals like that are like your best chance of seeing them.
But there is such a network, as I was saying, like beforehand, like even when we went to Prague, there was like Obscene Extreme, then there was Brutal Assault, and then there was another one literally the week after. So if you lived in Prague that 3 weekends in a row, you're sorted. Like any type of metal band, you'll see all of them in that 3 fucking weekend span. It's like this killer, and different countries do the same thing.
And you get to see Prague.
Yeah, man. I still want to go to Roadburn. So fucking bad. But since it's in a small little town, that literally if you want to go, you've got to get an Airbnb or a hotel. And since the whole town is taken over by this festival, the likelihood of you getting a ticket, unless you literally booked it the year before, is never going to fucking happen.
Winnebago.
Winnebago?
Winnebago.
Yeah, well, we need to get Mike back in to talk about Roadburn because he's been like every fucking year.
Yeah.
Dirty bastard.
Yeah, well, is this the first podcast that Mike hasn't done?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the streak is broken.
Yeah, like the every man is no longer here.
Totally.
So,
I can't believe I met him in Japan.
yes.
So nuts.
He's a killer dude, isn't he? How's it going?
I've never actually had a conversation with him. I've seen him about, but I've never actually chatted to him.
He's a lovely dude.
He's a great guy. He's one of the most worldly dudes that I know. And the thing is, like,
He has some stories.
he's got some amazing stories. But he also does that thing where it's like, everybody's wanted to go like, fuck it, I want to go to Malaysia and let's go see some Malaysian grindcore bands just cause. Like, and he's that guy that does it.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
like the endless guys who go to fucking Japan. He's actually told me the story on the opposite side. It's just like, oh yeah, like so I was hanging out in like I think it was Cambodia. And it was like, oh fuck it, Endless Worm is going to Japan. Fuck it, I'll go see them. Literally just
I wish it was that impulsive.
saw them on the other side of the fucking world, which is great.
It was really cool.
Yeah, how was that tour?
Amazing, man. I love that country. So fucking awesome. Everyone's really polite. Everyone's just nice.
Also, can you point out like how stripped down you guys actually played?
Oh, literally, I had my double pedal, my snare, and some cymbals in a snare bag. And then finally we bought stuff. We had to buy guitars and basses and pedals.
Literally
and we were there.
everything.
Apart from the drums, I just blagged the way over with them somehow.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Did you use other like venue shells or did you bring your own?
Just my snare.
Ah,
So it was all like the venues had all.
Everything else was like backline.
I feel like that's like how it always is, but I'm not going to make assumptions about a complete other country.
Well, that's the thing in Japan. We didn't need to bring anything. Virtually every single venue had a guitar, a double pedal, a set of good cymbals.
Wow.
Like it was unreal. It was like, what do we need to bring to when we're coming on tour to Japan? Nothing. We have everything at every venue.
Sweet.
You sure? Yeah.
Just take an extra pair of pants and you're fucking...
Yeah, you would absolutely be fine doing
There's even
that.
vending machines for those as well, though. So
They're the used ones.
They're pretty horrible, those things.
Yeah, it was actually quite, like, I was watching your feed as you were traveling over to Japan. It's like fucking Sharpo in this, like, skyscraper, like, fucking about on a base. It's like, oh yeah, just chilling out in Japan, buying a new base for the tour. Like, what? Like, what are you doing, man?
he's probably my favorite, most photogenic bass player ever. Like every single photo of him is just
I
amazing.
think my favourite one's his walrus.
I'm a big fan of that.
When,
That's a good one.
when I
Like,
did the original interview with Sharpo and Graham, like, Scapegoat interviews, like, the comments that we got afterwards were fucking brilliant because he was looking like the Crypt Keeper.
that was so funny.
Yeah.
That was so funny. He looked so fucking like dank.
I was just waiting for him to bring out a picture book and tell us story time. Jack
That was like the perfect lighting. Where was that? Was that in the
Joker and Thief.
Yeah.
It's a quality boozer if you want to film
Great
anything. They always want to have stuff down there, so we might utilize that.
You got comfy chairs too.
I couldn't tell if I was watching a Scapegoat interview or watching fucking the 90s board game Atmosphere.
Yeah, that was a horrible fucking board game.
I'm the gatekeeper.
It was shit though.
I love that game so much. There was sequels as well, you know.
Stop.
I love the man. I even had the Star Trek version.
I bet you did.
Yeah, then
Have you still got it?
I think it was somewhere, but
Just get a game.
yeah, no, but it's Gilron. It's like
Let's play it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna play on the
Sorry, but it's great. It's great. It is. Anyway, what we're talking about?
Yeah, so what about you, man? You've got like different stuff going on. You got who?
Well, we released an EP, a very long-awaited like first EP
Yeah.
in January. We're in the studio again in November, and we're doing quite a lot this year. We're just kind of trying to sort of reach into as many new places as once. We've got like a sort of co-headline run with Disposable across England.
Nice.
We're doing our own headline run in Scotland, and we've got a lot of plans for 2020. We're planning in Ireland, and we're in like the super like infant stages of like planning Europe as well. Just
Go to
getting-
Europe before you go to Ireland, man.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
That's
Ireland's
because-
amazing, but go Europe first.
It's just because we've got like friends in Ireland who we can already like establish that sort of relationship with. We've kind of I've yet to build those bridges with Europe yet. So I'm just kind of like, right, while we've got this relationship, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Because Ireland technically counts as like going overseas, even though like
Yeah, it's really cool as well.
really like it's just
place.
it's the thrash scene as well. Is from what I've heard is really good. in
The
Ireland.
metal scene in Ireland's in a really healthy state.
Yeah, the
Generally.
Siege of Limerick and
Yeah,
the shows
absolutely.
that they've been putting on. are fucking insane.
A band that we kind of know, Words of Burn. They've been I think the last 3 releases have gone to like the #1 in like the Irish metal charts, and the last album I think actually went to #1 in the actual download chart.
No,
awesome.
In Ireland, it's like,
Awesome.
yeah, totally. So they're hitting big. We played with them at the Banshee like 2 years ago.
There's 10 Ton Slug as well.
10 Ton Slug were amazing.
They're playing Nowadays this year, which
Yeah.
is like well done.
I have a weird friend of a friend. Well, we have a mutual friend. Yes. We can't really talk about
Okay.
because me and you, we see him often.
Right. Okay.
That guy. Yeah, no, but he grew up with all the 10 Ton Slug boys.
Yeah.
So he's like, he knows them all and stuff like that. So it's a quite good, weird, serendipitous kind of relationship. I remember hearing them and going, they're fucking awesome, and then finding out,
Still for
they're
me.
almost in touching reach.
Oh yeah, like was it Sean? I think he's.
Yes, I think it's actually Sean's little brother or big brother was our man's friend.
Yeah, I always bump into Sean, and honest to God, he's a fucking sweetheart. Because after I did the Mr. Marseille gig, like me and him had a chat, and he's like, "Have you ever want to play on 10 Ton Slug?" Like, yeah. I was like, "Yes."
Absolutely.
They are do that.
They are a fucking great band.
Yeah, and the boys are fucking.
Yeah.
Well, I was also going to say, you've got, well, since I last spoke to you, there was a Scapegoat interview with Ifria.
Oh, don't watch it. It's bad.
Oh, it's a fucking
I
classic.
put my chin's down to here, and I don't.
But yeah, since then, you've actually got 2 new members.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, actually, since then, we've had about like 3.
All right, okay.
Yeah, we've had guitarists, we've always struggled with guitarists, but right now we've got two, I don't want to say new because they're not really new anymore, but our current guitarists, Ben and Alina, they've been with us for a while, and the feel's really good. We're all on the same page and we're all on the same energy and the same attitude. So that's, I say this, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm pretty sure this is us for good now.
Right.
Let's hope so. But yeah, they're fantastic and we've had a lot of fun with them. And they, just the attitude they had, as soon as they joined, they were like, right, let's move in this one straightforward direction and like forget everything else. And I was like, that's what we need, because I was already like that. But the guitar, no disrespect, I'm not going to name anyone, but the guitars we had in the past were sort of had a different idea of what we should do. And now I'm glad that we're sort of as a five-piece, we're five people who are moving in the same direction.
As another five-piece band, like I've kind of seen a few bands from third party, but like the strings always have to be on the kind of same page. That's like kind of my MO. Like obviously bass and drums, the back line, they need to be tight as fuck. But if you've got like that dueling banjos guitar thing, it can get so easily lost. You guys have got to communicate all the time.
Yeah, Alina and Ben are great together. So
yeah.
Would you say it's like for me, like when you have like a five two guitars, it's always the best relationships are like the extreme ones. So the ones where the two guitar players are extremely similar or they're extremely dissimilar are the best ones. If you're kind of in that grey area, you don't necessarily get the best of that relationship. But when you have guitars that either is mechanically the exact same as the other guitar player, or both guitar players are offering something that creates a whole.
Yeah, they're two very like unique players in terms of like from each other. Ben comes from a very sort of like genty metalcore background, and Alina comes from a much more traditional sort of thrash and things like that. But they do come together really well. Ben's essentially completely like taught himself how to play thrash metal music because he never really was into that before. And Alina's a very sort of, as much as she likes that kind of music, her other, like the other band she's in is a lot more sort of progressive and weird. So they both have to be like, right, let's focus on just fast, chunky riffs. And them sort of learning that together kind of has led to them sort of like molding this. I'm doing so much with my hands right now. Like,
That's why there's cameras.
Molding this like thing together. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Me, Jacob, and Ian, me and Jacob have always had a very strong sort of backbone as the rhythm section, and Ian's Ian, he does what he does it very well.
Ollie from them.
So like, having them to sort of like find this new world together and sort of getting their own thing going.
And also agree upon it. And
they're doing really well, and I'm really excited to sort of like see what the five of us come up with and where we go from here.
Are you kind of following the like double lead dynamic?
Yeah, we've always been
totally. That's
like Iron Man, like total like dual harmony. We've always done that.
Literally, my favorite core ingredient of thrash has always been is the fucking trade-off. When you hear one guitar solo on the style and it goes into like when you go from like Kerry King
to Jeff,
absolutely.
We love that. That's like it's like solo and then like melody in the middle.
That's like one of the like it's
I feel bad because I'm not a musician saying this, but yes, it does work when it's executed well. Because I've seen a lot of five-piece bands with dueling guitars, and they have such a similar guitar tone that it just turns into a muddle of shit.
It's exactly that point though. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
so they use completely different like apps.
I'm not like kind of pointing at it. It's just
I'm just saying like we're on the right path.
They've got their own, like I say, they've got their own styles and stuff like that. I know what you mean. Like, like when I'm talking about like guitars that are mechanically the same. When I meant mechanically, I meant like in the actual way they play, not the kind of equipment you use. Because that's like 50% of the differential. Obviously, there's the tone of the god elements and the way that people play and stuff. When you get two guitar players who are like almost identical in the band, in the standard that they play, that's kind of awesome too. But as long as they do have kind of like a divergence in tone, that's very important. But every guitarist has like when they're approaching it has their own tone in their mind.
But then every guitarist wants to be louder than the other. I mean, two guitarists are happy.
Says the drummer.
I just want to be
I get guys to do in band practices where we've got two guitars that get them to stand on the other side of the room for their amps. So they're next to the other guy's amp. Yeah. So they know, like, because it's just they stand there and turn it off.
Man, out of all the sessions that we did down at 10th Street, my body hurt the most after yours. That was the loudest we made that fucking room. and Jesus shit, my bones hurt. Like, it was insane.
I remember watching it for the first time and thinking, my God, my bones hurt.
I was sitting in a bathroom and then went round and did that and then went straight back to fitting
He fucking rocks up after fitting a bathroom, starts doing fucking push-ups. I'm like, you've got time, man. He's like, yeah.
Classic detail.
But fair fucking cop, it was insane. How's fucking Broken Drum doing anyway?
Well, I've been kind of working on my own life this year.
A good plan.
There's a lot of things I need to get in place, but I really want to make something of the place. And, I've been doing a lot of work just tarring it up a bit, but it's so much effort. So hopefully by the summertime I'll have a fully open and working awesome studio instead of something that's halfway there.
I can literally give you a referral because I was in last week, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. It's very different from like
absolutely.
8 years ago.
Yeah, no, well, we were actually talking about something like the last podcast. How long has it been open?
11 years.
I knew it was 11 years. That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. We had the couch outside.
Yeah.
It's like King of the Hill. We're sitting outside in the sun drinking. Outside the band's breaks and inside.
Yeah, man. But no, as I say, obviously in the last 11 years, there's obviously going to be some level of involvement. But going back to a couple of weeks ago, I was in with my old high school band. We got together for charity gigs.
What's that JLK?
That was Joyless Kill,
right,
yes.
Right.
The original. I have literally my first proper band. I literally have a fucking band. But going back into days now and stuff like that. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Also, I'll just put it out there for folk that haven't been there. Your drum riser is grotesque.
Yeah. So drum studio.
I get that, but dude, it's like the size of this fucking stage, and it's with a room that barely fits around it. It's great.
The biggest kit I had built there once, we had like 2 kicks, a bigger kick, which is like a 36-inch bass drum, and we had the double pedal set up so you could hit just with the left foot of the double pedal and on your right foot, we'd hit the bass drum around the corner. And it was like 3 hi-hats, it was insane.
How many pieces was it?
Oh, it was me and Fraser made it, so it was like a combination of all our kits, so it was like
60
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 piece kit.
I have to give a shout out to Fraser as well.
Yeah,
Fraser is literally my oldest friend in the world. I've known him since I was 4 or 5 years old.
And he's a cracking drummer too.
Yeah, he's a very, very good drummer.
He probably would have sorted out our sound engineering issue.
Yeah.
But did you Broken Drum? Since you've had it for so long, is that where you've been recording the end of stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. There's been a few things that we've done, and
how many bands of your own bands have you recorded there? No.
Don't know. Talon.
Arcane Core.
Yeah.
Ambrose.
Yeah.
Meow. They recorded them.
Just listing his bands.
About six. No, so yeah, Beef Tub. 7 bands of mine that I've recorded, but it's been me just kind of.
How much for hire?
I've not sorted that out yet.
I'll give you a message.
For practice, it's £10 an hour.
Yeah,
which is reasonable.
That's fucking nothing.
I've been hanging around a lot with James, and he's been down there helping you out, and he was helping you with the Imprisoned Skin album, which I totally want a copy of.
July.
The vinyl.
I can say the vinyl are going to be out in July at some point.
Okay.
I got word from above. So
the powers that be.
Powers that
sharp over here.
Dogs in the hills have told me.
But yeah, I really want a copy of that. That's an insane album that you guys have done. Was it 34 tracks or something like that?
No, I think it's 20. I can't remember.
It was something like 34 minutes or something like that.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But I would love it because I got to play clarinet and saxophone. And
again on the last podcast,
one of the tracks.
We were talking about the last podcast I was on how you're a little kind of idiot savant. But you were in the choir as well. You played clarinet and stuff. And he's pretty mean at clarinet. I remember me and Dave used to live together. And every now and again, just hear a bit of take 5, a bit of Dave back.
Man, that's fucking tits right there.
It's good fun.
More clarinet in the right.
I know. Here's a shout out for Johnny Steele, saxophone and metal.
Yeah.
It's, you've got to do it sometimes.
I think saxophone is probably the second most sexual instrument after cello.
I gotta say, Mr. Mark Kelly playing that cello.
Sexy.
I don't see why we need guitarists anymore. Like that sounded so fucking badass.
Man, honestly, I'm working on the recording of it just now, and like, even though I was there, my body hurt, and I was obviously promoting the show, so I was busy as fuck. So re-watching it again, it's like, holy.
Yeah.
You need like more cellists and violinists to buy distortion pedals and get involved. Because
So that thing was a fucking manky old piece of shit.
It
but
was.
It sounded amazing.
it's really
Well, look
good.
at Willie Nelson's guitar, like that would literally be like he had to save like a house fire and shit like that. And he'd been playing it
He
like
probably started.
I saw a guy actually. I watched a video on YouTube of a guy like his guitar tech. He sends his guitar every year to get fixed. And the guy like opens up the case and he's like, oh, okay, so it's Willie Nelson's guitar. And it's like got fucking holes in it and shit like that. It's like Willie likes the holes.
Dweezil Zappa plays fucking Jimi Hendrix's burnt guitar from there.
That is true as well. Yeah.
Oh,
So if you see Zappa play Zappa, that's
seen that like 3 times.
yeah, it's an absolute shit heap of a guitar if you like break it down, but it's been lovingly restored.
This always they say this is the second time again I've been on the podcast and somehow Frank Zappa's come up, but at this time we've got well I know Dave's well
Is that
Zappa.
I mean, I don't listen to him.
In fact, just a month ago or something, I saw Pygmy Twilight here in Bannermans. Pygmy Twilight They were absolutely terrific. They played 2 hours solid, and most of the punters are like 50 plus, and they were all still standing. I was amazed. I was like, I want to say.
Like me, the Max, Mrs. Eve, had a chance to go and see the Magic Band play with Drumbo in it, like the original Captain Beefheart drummer and all that sort of lot. And we were the youngest folk there by miles, like absolute miles. And it was such a weird thing to go and see, because I've seen them now 3 times, and I think that's pretty much it. Like either they've all died or they're too old to play anymore. But yeah, same again. It's just like you've got 2.5, 3 hours of nothing but them playing. It's like, how the fuck are you still doing that?
I just went to see the Zappa hologram show as well.
Oh, how was that?
It was really good, but Ahmed was a bit cringy, I gotta say.
Right.
It's like-
What's your opinion on just hologram shows in general?
I really enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, that's very polarizing.
Yeah.
I personally am a fan.
Well, yeah,
It's
I'm not
a
fan
cool
of it.
idea, but I saw this show about Elvis back in the day, and it's like the exact same idea, except it's just a big cinema screen instead of a hologram. And they had cinema screens with 4 others that had footage of Elvis playing with the band back in the day, and then they were cutting that to live footage on the stage. So you'd see the young musician and then the old musician side by side, and then you'd look and just expect to see Elvis on the stage.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like a hologram in the middle of the stage. I think that's a bit weird. Like a Tupac.
That sounds better. Like
It was really immersive because it's so big you could just see it out the corner of your eye. Like there's Elvis, they're using his original voice, and everyone's playing in time to a live gig that they did 30 odd years ago. I'm like, that is class to be able to play that tight.
Yeah.
That's something else.
Yeah, because I'm not even a big fan of like when if you think about like Star Wars bringing back Carrie Fisher and things like that. That's like pretty bad taste.
oh yeah, it was fucking Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, like and all this sort of lot. But like, I think that's kind of like
Really,
when they're going, they should
Princess Leia instead of Han Solo.
Yeah,
I think the
that would
only
be a good storyline.
but it's one of these things that I think that it's the same deal with music. That if Dio's passed and gone, you can still love his music. But like trying to revive him via hologram or Tupac or whoever the fuck it is, it kind of detracts from what they actually did.
I think it's cool for historical value, so maybe you could get a hologram show and a band and do it and film it, and then that's it. Yeah, put it out there as, if you want to see what it was like live, here's a modern equivalent of it. If it's something that you can't hear, but then they're not going to be doing that with Mozart.
With Dio as well, there's a band called Last in Line. They're essentially a Dio tribute band. They do have their own originals, but it's Vivian Campbell, Benny Appice, and whoever played bass on Holy Diver, I can't remember his name.
I hope it's an Ardini.
I can't remember. And just and a singer. They're not trying to be Dio, but they're like, we're kind of like Dio, so we're going to play some Dio songs. We've got our own stuff as well.
Yeah.
Really, that's kind of the best way to do it.
Yeah, like that, I'd say it's a weird one because again, that like this goes back to one of the first conversations that we had on the podcast is who the fuck is going to fill the boots of the Elvis or the Dios or the Sabbaths or the whoever. But the thing is, they're not getting pushed anywhere near as hard. Or Brother Virgin, all these bands
that's true.
do not push as hard.
But maybe that's a good thing though, because when you get pushed, you become tired and you become desperate.
But as I say, all these old fuckers are dying. And are we going to like?
But they're still going
I was
out on the
watching
road.
a podcast the other night, but like, if you think about Joe Rogan, now they've got these things where they can make their faces and make them talk and say there's certain things. So the thing is, an AI.
It's entirely plausible.
So an AI could be a funnier Joe Rogan or whatever it is, you know. So would you
Is
watch?
this a Black Mirror episode?
Yeah, sort of thing. Yeah. So do you watch the real guy, which is could be hungover or whatever, not be a shark, or do you watch the AI version, which is absolutely immaculate every time? Well, if we're gonna go down
It's not real, man.
But if you go down the hologram route, why not? Like as I say, you've got the fucking Elvis tribute band all live singing, all dancing. Just make all of them
This is
holograms
kind
on stage.
of this is kind of my argument as well. Like, I think if you are going to do like the hologram tribute act to artists that are deceased, that it shouldn't be done in the sense of a venue. You should make it into an attraction, like a tourist attraction, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Especially when
I
you're
am
charging
aware
like
that the
60
future
quid a
of
ticket as
live
well.
music is going. You're going to go in, put your money in a puggy or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the electric band. Like, seen that in Japan, they have a whole electric band. They
Yeah,
weren't
like a
playing,
robots and
but
shit.
they had
Yeah.
robot violinists. And that was pretty good for a robot.
Yeah.
And like, imagine you just come in, instead of jukeboxes, you just see the whole live band and they're all robots.
Put a pair of tits on that robot?
Yeah, totally. All they
That's
do
good
is
to
just
do.
missing tits. That's it.
If we can
But
play
I
the
don't know,
violin gently.
I do think that there needs to be some like undercurrent push though, because as I say, there are bands actually just pointed out. Fucking Gojira. Gojira are well within their time to be one of them stable bands that hit the top of every fucking bill when they play, but they're not because they always get supplanted by Metallica. Like,
Metallica's not got long left.
but that's what they will do if holograms take over. They'll be there forever.
And yeah, guaranteed they filmed themselves in all the 3D cameras
And
everything.
S&M and like all the different fucking things. So it's like,
Fuck off.
yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I mean.
Don't
These
just fucking
fuckers
give
won't
up.
die.
Right.
Thing is though, there's something about live music that you'll never get from a robot, I hope.
Or a fucking
Like, I don't see
Guys like
robots
us
do
think
it.
that, but what do the masses think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because don't
suppose.
get me wrong.
I'll tell you what,
the
he
amount of
definitely
people who spend
sorry.
like a couple £100 on a fucking Kylie Minogue ticket and sit in the nosebleed seats and all they literally see for 2 hours is a flashing light.
Yeah.
Like,
Can I
that
just say
was
though,
amazing.
there's one thing you definitely will not get from a robot musician: an STD.
Aha.
That's half the fun.
It's half the danger.
Which STIs do I have?
Yeah, have a tip jar on your merch stand and it just says STDs available.
But they're going to have to start building if it gets that bad, they're going to have to start building robots that do have STDs just to make them more authentic.
Man, them fucking
And heroin addictions as well.
definitely.
I must get my oats. Oil.
I've just seen a robot pawning his guitars and that.
I need a fix.
I don't know why I've got like full Dalek.
I need a fix.
Sorry.
That's just the universal robot.
Yeah, totally. I kind of I lean more into the digital computations.
That's the most irritating of all robot voices of all time. It's the fucking like technological advances that let's make him irritating as fuck.
Yeah, totally.
Darth Vader made him, so fuck.
That's true. And
Like,
biggest heel in
A child
Here you
in
go.
Tatooine made him, so
This is my call for the end of Star Wars, right? And if they steal it, then fuck them, right? Which is, at the very beginning of the first Star Wars, what do you mean? R2-D2 and C-3PO. So at the very fucking end, I bet you any money they're gonna have a conversation, sit next to each other and go, these humans are fucking weird, aren't they?
Nah,
because they've seen the whole gambit.
I think you're half right. I think what we're all waiting for is that final scene where they just do it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, robot fuck.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I've waited 50 years for this. And all these extra bits are coming on R2 that you've never seen
Yeah, but he's
before.
got flying jets now, so imagine what else he's got.
If you think about it, when they get like fucking taken by the Jawas and that, and they turn into weird, that's a fucking robot orgy.
Yeah, dude.
like, oh man!
Oh, this is so bad.
It's fucking like the branding on like the foot of that joint. He's loving that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a cry of pain.
And I've derailed the podcast again.
That's why you can't see the Jawa's faces. It's just like, oh.
Yes, we went mad.
Exactly.
We bloodshot eyes.
We went from holograms to fucking robots in like no time at all. That was beautiful.
Robots, so you're going to
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that again. Is like, you're gonna go into like cinemas and just watch like fucking a Peugeot have sex with a fucking.
Imagine that though, the
Renault.
oldest perception becomes like null and void overnight.
I don't think
Because you won't get an STD off this robot. It'll have like a microwave down there and blast everything.
instantly
exposing your dick to nuclear radiation.
They're not going to have a guy clean the thing.
So we just kill it. most depressing robot life of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Can we please get back onto something a bit more? Like,
Aye, so Gojira filling the boots.
oh yeah, like fucking Metallica or someone else like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Here's a question. I've tried this with my friends. So Slayer have obviously just done their last UK show ever.
It's not-
like,
I saw their last
who do you
one
think
last year.
out of like the classic sort of bands, like who's next, but also who's gonna last the longest? Me and
Megadeth could be up there.
I think Megadeth are right. Okay, Devastating just because I know that.
recovers everyone.
I think Anthrax are gonna
Yeah,
outlive the big
Anthrax are going to be the longest living. I agree.
Scott
Each
Wiggins is not
member,
gonna
though,
die.
there's about 35 members in Anthrax.
That's true.
You see them all in a room together.
Well,
It's nuts.
but if you got Anthrax and Suicidal Tendencies' entire back catalogue of cats, they would have the best fight ever.
That would be
That would
nuts.
just be like Fortnite. I think of Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I think if you're thinking about like core members that you were talking about, like I'm talking about like the original OGs, like Kerry King and like that sort of people. I think Anthrax is still going.
Well, Anthrax have kept a very consistent lineup, considering what's going, like considering the other bands in the scene. Obviously, Megadeth is just Dave Mustaine at this point.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
Chris Adler.
Can I say controversially? My favorite Anthrax singer is John Beach.
that's controversial, but I'm not gonna argue. Like, you're all entitled.
I will. I saw them with John Luke and it was gash.
Oh, actually,
Only as a
I've seen Joey so many times that
The funny thing is that I find that the bands that aren't in the big four are like way better, not just way better in terms of I like their stuff more, but like you see them live and they're just as tight as Gojira or Killswitch Engage.
Imagine if they feel all these older metal bands like Flotsam and Jetsam. You're not in the big four. Then who decided the big
Yeah.
four?
It was the first four to sign to a major label, so they were the first four to sort of get mainstream appeal.
Right.
So like it was Metallica first, and then Slayer, and then Megadeth because Dave Mustaine was in Metallica, so the record companies were like, right, let's get this new band to shoot, and then Anthrax. So those four, a very close second, a very close fifth was Exodus because they signed very quickly after.
I put it the second tier of the big four because there's that like there's
Well, Exodus, Overkill, Testament, then
but the
Death
exact
Angel.
I like that tier.
The big four.
Yeah, that's the middle eight.
the middle eight. I like that. That's awesome.
But then the exact same model with the big four then got done with like the Florida death metal scene. So Cannibal Corpse,
Well,
even
that's
though
right,
they're
yes, I did that.
yeah. Like so the thing is, even though Cannibal Corpse is an Ohio band when it first started, they recorded in this Florida scene with like a couple of
Everything just travels to
like
this one.
Testament, Obituary, all them like which literally came from there. Then everyone went, wait a minute, let's go sign every single Florida death metal band, and it was pretty much the same thing. So the waves that like the big four, and then like Testament, Sodom, all that lot got signed.
I
Same
think
deal.
one of the issues though is that record company types never get involved anymore. That's pretty much gone.
The era of the A&R man is dead.
And like think about that.
Is that a good thing
The
or
big
bad?
four,
It's a fucking
all these
shit
big fours
hole.
you're just talking about. It's you go where the scene is, and then some A&R guy comes along and goes, hey, there's a lot of kids liking this.
Yeah.
Let's put something out and see what happens. And then you have a scene born from San
Yeah,
Francisco.
when was the last time a scene actually like blew up?
I don't know.
Probably Florida death metal, or maybe Sweden. Well, right, okay. Can the average metal fan name more Polish bands other than Behemoth and Decapitated?
I'm probably going to say
What are they called?
Vader.
No, but like I mean more in extreme metal.
I don't know what to say. Like the last big one was probably the Massachusetts scene. Like of all those kind of like metalcore fucking bands, because like so many bands just came from the fucking same like Killswitch Engage, Shadows Fall. All those fuckers
Were they all from Massachusetts?
Yeah, they're all from the same fucking God forbid.
Unearth movie or
I think maybe, but like it was weird. Like all these bands that became popular were all from the same.
the new wave of American metal, or whatever it was
But
called.
I would
Yeah,
definitely say
something
like A&R men back in the 50s, yes, they were corrupt and they were taking a bit more of the pie than they should have been. But at the same point in time, they were working to actually get that music out there, represent their artists, also have a backline of people to then collaborate
At
with their
least
artists.
there was goods
Coming out of it,
coming out of it.
yeah.
For the fans as well.
But now A&R men are pretty much the ones which make these 360 deals, which even if you are not making music and you draw something and that something then turns up on a t-shirt, the label gets a cut. So something that they have got fuck all to do with. Like that's what the A&R man now is, to pretty much wring you dry and figure
And
out
more and more bands are just DIYing it because the big companies nowadays are not on your
The
side.
DIY fucking kings right here, in my opinion.
A great example is Bloodshot Dawn. Maybe they have signed some point in the past, but their whole thing is that they're like everything they do is themselves, all their albums themselves, and they've headlined tours in Japan and Canada and everything as well
Their merch is on point. Whoever's doing your fucking merch is doing a good job.
Yeah, but like they're really sort of. Josh has got a really good idea of how he runs things, and it's showing that you don't need the big guy. You can do it yourself.
Yeah.
But the big guy isn't as helpful as he was 20 years ago.
Well, I think it's even in the way that I would say that as you were saying beforehand, the labels in general are not pulling their weight as much as they used to.
No, they're only interested now in big gigs where they can get like major entrance at the door, and then they'll give you some money.
But then there's like
They'll make loads of money doing that.
Because then there's the cattle market aspect. I spoke about this beforehand, where I don't give a shit if like Paul McCartney plays in a 100-seater venue or this insane hydro. It doesn't matter to me. You would go anyway. The way how you're getting treated when you're there, as I say, the one that comes to me straight off the bat is Slayer's last gig at the fucking hydro. And there's baseball t-shirts going for 150 notes.
Yeah.
I've seen Slayer like 9 times, right? What about the little kid that's not gone before and he wants to get a t-shirt and has to spend
Amazon.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, but that's the thing. He
And
wants to
it wasn't
represent.
from the gig. I got this at the gig,
And they're treating them like a piece of shit.
My friend bought a hat. It was like
Slayer.
35 quid, and it's just like, why? You can get a cheaper one on like EMP for like half the price, and like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I haven't bought a t-shirt at least. Well, wait, I've never bought a t-shirt at the Hydro because fuck that.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a t-shirt at like an O2 venue in a while. Cat House and things like that. Yeah, sure.
Depends on that, yeah.
Yeah, it'd obviously be like, it used to be the case that like buying a t-shirt at a show was like the best way to support a band, but I don't believe that's the case anymore.
It depends, yeah.
Especially with bands like
Best way to support band is buying absolutely every single fucking thing they put.
I mean, go to the gigs. Have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the gigs are the best way to pay fucking bands.
a band will receive payment obviously money, but like you being there and you banging your head and you singing along, that's
They do though if they have a PRS license and they're playing big venues.
Yeah,
They make a killer. Like if you get a festival gig and you don't have that, you're missing out on thousands.
Yeah.
we need to sort out up here, especially.
Problem with that
we had
is-
a conversation about this like a month ago.
There's
and we
lots
just
of
kept
venues that
forgetting
you
it.
play that you just can't say anything to the PRS because they don't have one. They're not going to get one. So you just have to like list all your gigs and be like, right, they don't have a PRS, so I can't put that into the.
Yeah, the annoying thing with Synesthesia is like 3 of us are registered and 2 of us aren't. And 2 of us are being very lazy and slow.
Is that you?
No, I was
Wait! Someone's
Nah, it's
lazier
not
than
happening.
you?
Yes. How dare you? I'm like the most industrious person I know. That's because I have no friends.
And no job.
I had a job
For a week.
and a half. I got fired because my cat got sick.
He still has a cat though. So
Exactly, so fuck y'all.
Camera obscura. Fuck you, I've got a living cat.
Also, in my contract, it says that I am not allowed to say anything bad about Camera Obscura on
I can,
social
though.
media. Absolutely.
I can say as much as I want.
But the thing is, I got fired, you know, so you can take your Edinburgh's oldest purpose-built tourist attraction and shove it straight up your assholes. Yes.
that's a funny way of putting it. Edinburgh's oldest built tourist attraction. My arse.
Was it?
What about the cat?
There's a cairn on top of Arthur's Seat. I'm pretty sure that's older.
Yeah, no, I would probably say so. So you can suck y'all dicks. Anyway, sorry, had to get that in.
The castle's not an attraction, but it was everything. It was the town at one point. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, the oldest fucking building's up in the St. Margaret's Chapel. It's like the oldest building in Edinburgh, is it? I believe. Anyway, enough pub knowledge. I am not going to hijack this podcast because I forgot to do this second, but I can't miss the opportunity because we have 2 drummers, 2 awesome fucking drummers.
One small.
So I was going to, if it's alright with you, Bailey, I was going to ask 3 questions, right? So, first of all, right? Now, I remember talking to you years and years ago about how you kind of got started, like especially like double kick. You always use a pillow, wouldn't you?
yeah.
Yeah, so you just set up your kick pedal and then like back at like blast it. So like I mean that's quite a cool wee tip for somebody starting out to drum. So if you guys could go back to the very beginning of your drum, you said you'd be playing for like how long now?
Like 12, 11 years.
Yeah, so like exactly over a decade shit. If you could go back to yourselves and give yourselves one piece of advice to kind of speed along the process, what would you ask yourselves?
I don't even know what I tell myself now.
Because it's the same thing you always hear, start off slow, play it slow, and then build up the speed. I spent ages just playing really, really fast, and then eventually going, oh wait, I can't play that. And then you have to play it really slow. And
I'm not even like figured that out yet. Like, I'm 12 years in and I still just go.
You got it.
No, I know. I'm just you underestimate how lazy I am.
But then
If I could tell myself one thing, I'd say you'll get there eventually.
Awesome.
Just keep practicing.
Yeah, I guess the saying is like you're crap now, but like you will get better. And when you do get
everything.
And when you do
Yeah,
get
it is, literally.
it's worth it in the end. Like 10, 12 years later, and like you're like I'm only 20, and I'm alright for a 20-year-old, and I'm like if I could say to myself then, like by the time you're 20, you'll be better than most fucking 30-year-olds. Like that would give me a lot of confidence.
awesome.
It's like when I was talking to Tommy when he was here last, it's like he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, one of the most killer guitar players, he's a care worker, he's like all these things. And most of the time when folks talk to him, it's like, oh, I wish I could have done that. It's like, well, he had to start somewhere as well. Like he had to start off and be shit and get beat up until the fact he got better.
Being bad at something is the first step to being good at something.
Exactly. One of my favorite mantras is just because you can't do something today doesn't mean you can't do something someday, which is awesome. My next question for you guys, right? So, first time that you heard like a song or a drummer.
Run to the hills.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah, totally.
No, this is my chat play. It's like, you ever run to the hills? It's like, yeah, that made me play drums. Yeah, I just
Oh man, I'm fucking turgid right now.
I just heard that. I heard that at a young age, and I was like, I want to do that. And I can now kind of do that. So.
Yeah. Also, that's awesome. But you, man, the first thing you heard was like, this is why I can play drums.
Two songs. Andy by Frank Zappa from the best band you've ever heard in your life album.
Right here. right here.
Yeah, that was the worst one. Let's try again.
Yeah.
Aim for the elbow, you never miss.
And the other one, I know that's what you're meant to do. The other one was definitely John Bonham. I can't remember which. Maybe
Good times, bad times, or something.
With the levy breaks and...
definitely off of Led Zeppelin 2 because I played that like when I was a kid. I think that was one of the first ones that went down. Oh, what's the one with the council estate and on the back it's got an old guy.
Oh, Physical Graffiti.
Physical Graffiti. That's the very first one I listened to. That was amazing.
Cool.
I remember hearing John Bonham just be like,
That's cool.
well, okay then. Because it was like the Frank Zappa stuff was like, oh, I could never play that, no way. And the John Bonham stuff was like, oh, I could probably give that a shot.
Yeah, get
like,
that.
that sounds like there's space in between all these beats, so I can work out where they are. And, yeah.
Final question. 5A?
Eh?
5A. 2B.
Oh, 2B.
Yeah, I like baseball bats.
Oh. I've never met 2B before, actually.
Well, so for a long time I was just 5B. For a long time.
Are they lighter than 5A?
No, they're heavier.
Heavier.
We're talking
we're
talking about drumsticks, by the way.
Yeah, the stupidest gauging system of anything.
It makes, I don't even
it
know
makes
what
zero sense.
I don't know what it means. I was 5B. I was 5B for a long time, and then pretty much when I started playing Y, I switched to American style 5.
What sticks though?
Always Vic for it.
Yeah, always Vic for it.
But like, I found the AS 5Bs, which is, for people who don't know, the tip is instead of like an egg shape, it's a sphere. But I found that they broke a lot quicker, so I went back to just normal 5Bs, and then I think I went to go buy 5Bs, and I accidentally bought extreme 5Bs, and then thinking, oh, these are way better. And then
It's longer.
And I think they're slightly heavier. They're slightly heavier, but not that much. But I remember thinking that extra bit of weight gives more momentum.
I think they have like an extra half inch of the tip.
Maybe, I think
a wee bit more reach.
something like that. But then I went to buy. I was playing a gig, and the gig was in like 2 days, and I was like, shit, I need some new sticks. So I just went. I didn't have enough time to buy them on Amazon, so I went to like Red Dog or something, and I just said like, do you have any extreme 5Bs? And they said, no, we've only got 5Bs. I was like, it's too light, 'cause I'm so used to extreme ones now. And they said, we've got 2Bs, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I bought a pair of 2Bs, and I just started playing, and it felt so much more right. And
Nice.
I really don't see myself going anywhere else from there. I think 2Bs are my stick.
I use different sticks for different things.
Well, I just play the same things.
I've got 5As, I think. It's either 5As or 5. I never remember. I'm always like, it's the lighter one.
I'm pretty sure it's a 5A.
I think so, but then sometimes I'll buy 5Bs and then, but it's like, you buy the stick and it's heavy and then you use it for like one practice and it weighs less. And then you play a couple gigs and it weighs even less. And then that stick becomes how they all should feel after like a gig or two, and then you're like, that's perfect, and then it starts losing it.
But like, you know, when I'm on a 2B, because it's heavier, more momentum, it's training my hands better. And
more of the rebound
I went
stuff.
back to my like 5Bs just for like a try, and I can play a lot faster because my arms are just better trained.
But then try and go and play that using 7/8s, and it's just too quiet.
Well, I'm never gonna.
It's too quiet.
You're like, in my life, to be honest.
And then they break like all the time. But if you're playing any jazz stuff, it's amazing because. Shout out to Hendo.
Absolutely, Big Dave Hendon, the sexiest man alive.
Sexiest beast.
I never get done with that drum question. So
I did, but that was awesome. Like as I say, I'm a bit.
So did you just guess that you were 5A guys?
Generally, 5A is the one I come across the most.
5A is probably the most common.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's how I ended up just getting used to it because it's in virtually every drum store.
Every store has 5A.
So it's a standardized.
Do you use nylon tips?
If they have Vic first, they no.
That doesn't get it.
Fuck them, they break off.
Tucker uses them. Tucker from Disposable uses them.
Honestly, your skates look like someone shot on your shit.
Actually, sorry. One more quick question. Best drummer kind of life hacks. What's like a really cool kind of life hack for a drummer?
I don't. If you know any, please tell me.
Quads are great.
What's that? Quads.
Quads, yeah. It's just
I was going to say,
I guess the extra thing. I mean, like the only really hack I would give someone is just like drum tension. Your pedal tension matters, and it can make it break your. It can make it break your like your double kick. And if you don't spend a bit of time figuring out what's a good tension that fits my feet and fits this pedal, then you're doing yourself a massive disservice.
Yeah. So buy your own pedal as well, because if you go to a different practice room or a different gig, you're going to be playing a different drum kit every time.
Yeah, always bring your own.
Drummers don't have like a guitar. So my guitar wasn't sounding right today at the gig. Why not? You're using your guitar, your pedals, your head. Everything is yours apart from the cabinet. So it's probably the cabinet, the one big heavy thing that you don't want to bring. Drummers can't bring a drum kit to every gig. So you play like, imagine you're playing a gig, but you've only got one tom instead of three.
Yeah, that is an awesome. But even for me as as a singer, like buying a vocal effects processor, because for me, I never know who's going to be behind the desk.
Yeah.
So the fact that I have all my reverbs and delays and stuff like that, I know how it's going to sound in front of me. All I can say to the sound guy is, "Oh, it needs a clean channel."
Yeah.
And you can't really fuck that up.
No.
So that's a really cool bit. It's exactly the same thing.
The reverb will be different in every venue.
Exactly.
So reverb.
So what a fantastic tip.
A big problem drummers face is that like guitarists, you've got your pedalboard and you've got your heads, but a drummer like toms and kick, you just have to hope that the house kit is not total garbage.
Exactly, yeah.
I guess that all they really like. I'm not. There's a certain venue in Glasgow, and I don't want to name them, where their house kit has just been crap for years, and they've never bothered to replace it. And
I think I already know what that is.
I've played there. I've played there a bunch of times, and every single time I'm like, why haven't you fucking fixed this? And I'm playing it, and when I see bands play there, I see the same problem.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
This is like, it's the kind of halfway through the set, the toms are like fucking like moving away from you, and it's like, this is a big problem, and your venue's gonna suffer if you don't fucking fix this. But honestly, like, I don't know about you, but I'm always a 2 rack tom guy, and so, and then when you go to a venue and they've only got the 1 rack tom, you do have to adapt.
Yeah, you're literally making up fills on the spot.
Learning to
think, okay, I've got this big drum fill, and I don't have all the strings.
Learning to adapt
isn't there.
Learning to adapt is really important, but I feel like that only really comes from experience. So just keep at it, really.
Practice on as many different kits as you can.
Yeah, by playing different venues, you kind of naturally you're on different kits, and you get more used to that sort of general how I should play.
Because you're actually playing the kit. It's not like going to a drum shop and you're like, I'll have a wee shot, but there's other people in the room you don't want to blast or whatever. So yeah.
Awesome. Top tips, so fantastic.
Since we're getting close to the end of battery life, I think we better wrap it up. And as well, we want to point out that you're doing Shredding, you're doing lots of gigs now.
Shredding, yes, my plate is full, and I'm struggling to hold the plate now.
Yeah, I've only just started putting gigs on, and they're fucking stressful. It's something with a fucking ton of it.
It's a bummer. I did a gig. We were mentioning them earlier. I did a Bloodshot Dawn gig, and I ended up losing like £400 more money on it, and that was not pretty. But gigs are coming up. Catalysis from Dundee, they're playing, and they're going on like tour in Europe, and just as a sort of warm-up show, they're playing in Opium, and so far supporting. I've got from Tyranny from Glasgow and Satirici also from Glasgow.
Satirici are awesome.
Satirici are great. They're like the only sort of like there's only like 3 death metal bands in Central Scotland.
Yeah, I know.
They're one of them.
They're also like
So you're booking
highly
shows in
recommended.
Opium as well?
Yeah, pretty much it. Well, every
One
show
of the bands was like, who's booking shows in Opium?
That's me. That's me. Yeah, I've got a few. What else have we got? I can't even fucking remember on gigs. But the big one is Shredder Festival 4, The Revenge. And that's in Bannermans. That's 11 thrash metal bands from across the UK. And it's going to be fucking tight. It's going to be fucking juicy. It's going to be sweaty. It's only £10 a ticket,
Let's
which
get
is
back there, guys.
pretty good. So come if you want.
Do you know what the start times are and stuff?
I mean,
be an all day.
it's an all day. It's from like 2 p.m. till like midnight or whatever. So
Awesome.
it's a big long thing.
Nice.
That's going to be really cool. Some of the bands just quickly off the top of my head: Shrapnel, Incinerate, Amok, Thrash's Regime, Ephraim, Daniel Waxoff, etc.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's good crack.
He's a gent in himself.
That's me. Someone else can.
No man, but it's good that you're fucking promoting gigs and also you're a
absolutely.
young lad. So the thing is, it's going to show that not all the miserable old dicks like me are having a fucking good.
I'm hoping that by the time that I'm your age, I've got some salt. You know?
Yeah, you'll have none of that.
Yeah.
More of this. So yeah, it's you're the only one that survived.
I know.
All it is overproduction of testosterone.
Yeah. So what about yourself then? Anything happening with you gigs wise? Anything that you've seen recently or going to?
I just saw Rammstein, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because we're away to see
Yeah, I've seen them in Milton Keynes, so please no spoilers.
I've seen some of their stage show already.
I've not seen anything. I'm waiting to see it myself.
It looks fucking insane.
One of the most incredible things ever.
I think the dance number is tremendous.
Oh yeah, that's good. I've got a music video coming out with Animos, EP coming out with Animos.
That's exciting.
John
Filmed it in the
Shaw.
studio. It was Mr. John Shaw.
I'm very excited about that.
Shout out to Infinite Hive. And I've got possibly two Godhole records. There's one that we recorded last year, one recorded this year, but it's been on hold with Jamie's solo album.
Yeah,
They're meant to be coming out.
check the bed thing.
Yep, and Cal from Frontier is joined. We've got 2 bass players.
Cool.
Frontier
I remember when you
playing
played at my house.
Oh yeah, that was an awesome night.
Yeah,
That was
like
fantastic.
you played in my fucking front room as a 3-piece.
Well, it was just for that thing, but I think you might get feasible.
Because it was Blue Rash, you guys, Atragon, Terrorfly, Scumpulse. For a gig in your front room is not too bad.
That was class. And I've got a Black Talon EP, 4-track, 5-track EP
This is all
coming.
news to me. I'm so excited about this.
It sounds amazing, but it's getting
I'm like
the finishing touches are happening to it, and I'm really happy with it.
How long was the Black Talon hiatus there?
Oh, while and Mike moved to Australia.
Of course.
Yeah.
So that should be good. Like,
Sexy Mike.
that was the first show in over 2 years.
Yeah, it was a long time. But that was great fun.
I was so like ready to. I was like, oh, it's Black Talon's comeback gig.
Black Talon time.
I'm gonna totally like, I'm gonna totally milk that.
That was good. But
As you say, like Imprisoned and Skin, the vinyl's coming
Vinyl's coming out in July, and we have to record 3 Endless Form splits. We've got one of them we're recording like in
Basically,
Is this new shit or is
new
it-
shit. We got 3.
Fucking hell.
I've checked the phone. We got split with Farzis from our friends from Lithuania.
What?
No, you say it. What's
We've
splits?
got
I'm not saying a fucking word. People need to take my advice sometimes.
you said that, and I strongly was like, you're right. Like, so you're
It's not very often, Stu.
Right,
your words are influencing people.
we've
Yeah.
got a split with Choke from the US.
Yeah.
As
Nice.
well coming out, we have to record that, and we're split with Fuck on the Beach
Nice.
from Japan. We have to do that as well. So a bunch of recordings to get done.
There's also Haggis coming and playing.
Graham and Alex have organised that. I'm not entirely sure, but we're not playing it. It's going to be Haggis,
Alright.
Gendo Carey. Who else?
I know Haggis.
I'm already there. Already there.
Just look up Haggis, and I think it might be in the Banshee Lab.
It'll be in the Banshee. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute.
They're playing the same thing in Glasgow as well, like the day after. So
Yeah, Gendo's
opportunity
actually
for
getting
everyone
them
to
out
see
quite a
them.
bit. They just played with me at Mr. Marseille, and now they're
They
playing.
were amazing.
And then Frontier and them are doing like pretty much a gig
really?
in Glasgow, yeah.
Cool.
And then they're coming back to do Haggis.
Where Frontier are playing again? I know they're playing.
They've got a tour coming up, a Euro tour.
I know that's a grand But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I can't fucking wait. But yeah, Gendo's fucking slapping shit about it. They got a new like EP/short album coming out soon
Yeah,
as
can't
well.
wait to
so
hear that.
Can't fucking wait.
Did you see the guy's set list? think George had written all the
Every song that they had.
It was either the vowels or the consonants. He swapped a couple of them round in every song in the set list. So you're glancing like, what the fuck? Is it?
Like, even George in the second last song was like, I don't know the drum pattern. Next one.
Amazing.
They were a fan, and he was like, "Oh, that was a shy gig. That was fucking brilliant. That was a shy gig, man. When they destroy it."
But that was the other one. Like, we put on the fucking Tetsuo the Iron Man in the background, and it's synced up fucking perfectly. Like we'll fucking get stabbed with bionic weapons and stuff.
Is that what that movie was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you then, Stu Boy? Are you just keeping quiet then?
Well, there was a little bit of gossip, so
Do a split, sorry.
the potential later split in Soviet season release we're currently working on. There's a good chance it's going to be finished by Sunday. Like we're recording, and then we're obviously
Nick's arm all.
well, we recorded the drums before
You're
he had the
also-
surgery. So this is like literally the release is getting finished off. I think we're jamming next week. That'll be the first jam. But the cool thing is we're pretty much after this week we'll finish recording. We'll spend like a couple of weeks mixing down what we've got. Then we'll send it to James blocking, and then a whole bunch of weird stuff will be happening. So
Yeah, you're saying there's this release.
oh,
thing.
even before that,
Alright.
I think you're going to see a lot of you're going to be seeing a lot of
As
weird
we said
things.
this before, keep your eyes out for something at some time.
Oh yeah,
Some of
I remember seeing this, and it was incredibly vague.
Yeah, the vagary is
If
killing
you
me, man.
if you like our Facebook page, you'll be privy to
Updated.
everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would maybe keep an eye maybe in a month or so, because some strange things might start happening.
Okay.
How intriguing.
Yeah. Well, from our front, we're probably going to be doing these like bi-weekly now, fortnightly, instead of doing it every week, because trying to get folk together every week was starting to fucking do my head in.
Put on gigs.
And put on gigs and
bands.
interview and film them and all that lot. It's fucking just too much for one guy. If other folk want to take the reins for a bit, you can. I've sorted out another gig for November 30th, which is the anniversary of Scapegoat, and I'll let you know that Bismuth are the headliners, so that's going to be a fucking absolute doozy in here. So that we've not figured out.
When that's announced, I'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be we've actually got the full fucking lineup. I'll just tell you. So it's like Bismuth, Headless Cross, Sapien, and Forever Machine are all on the same bill. So this is going to be a fucking sweaty ass gig. So that's.
I love how much better Bannerman sounds now, eh?
Oh, this whole makeover is fucking, it's
Man, I keep saying it. This is a mindset.
It's been totally got whacked. And they got a new bucket as well.
It's pretty good from what I've seen. I'll be playing it.
I think there's a video on YouTube of me, the drum still breaks like a minute into that song, and I literally like stop, everyone like, what's going on? It's like holding a broken drum still on my head. I think it's still on a bar still. I think that initially most of that drum kit got stolen. That's what I mean. But I think anyway, thank you, Bannermans. Thank you so much.
If you want to do anything with any of us, as I say, with Shreddenborough, hit you and up, or go see Ifrian. If you want to record, go see Broken Drum, or
Practice. If you want some of
Endless
this.
War Amros, Devil
Want
Leaves,
some of
or
this.
fucking whatever. And then if you just want a gammy, go see Stu.
You want anything film? Go see this guy.
Maybe.
Yeah, if you want to
maybe.
talk shit
If
for
you want to
hours.
talk shit for an hour, yeah, come see this guy. I do that quite often. But yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. Then.
Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.